So notice example 4 looks a little bit different because we have a rational number here. We have a fraction. Now hopefully when you see this, you'll recognize that this is 125 in the denominator. And we have a 5 here, so I know 5 can go into 125. So even though this is a fraction, that tells me that I can have the same base. Now, if that doesn't look familiar to you, just keep in mind that whenever you have negative exponents for a value, it'll turn into a fraction. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to guess and check on this one. How many times you got to multiply it to itself to get 125? For instance, I can do 5 times 5, and that gives me 25. I multiply it to another 5, and it gives me 125. So I know that 5 times 5 times 5 gives me 125. So now what I can do is turn that power to a negative. So instead of saying 5 to the power of 3, which would be 125, I could do 5 to the power of negative 3, which will give me 0.008. And while that doesn't look like 125, if you wanted to, you could put 1 divided by 125, hit enter, and you'll see that it is the same value. The other way you could go ahead and confirm that that's correct is you can hit enter on it, hit math, enter, and turn it into a fraction. So 5 to the power of negative 3 is 1 over 125. So anytime you have a base that doesn't match, if that base can go into the denominator by multiplying itself by a certain amount of times, once you figure out what that number is, you just change that power to a negative and you know it's going to be equivalent. Now with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and convert this fraction of 1 over 125 to 5 to the power of negative 3. And I'm going to set it equal to what was on the left side of my equation, 5 to the power of x plus 2. And now we have equivalent bases, so we can go ahead and ignore those, right? Mark them out, and we're going to take our exponent up here, x plus 2, and set it equal to the exponent on the right side, which is negative 3. And we're going to go ahead and solve for x. So I'm just going to subtract 2 from both sides. And I end up with x is equal to negative 5.